What up?
What's good, man?
Chilling, hungover. What's up?
Thank you for coming out. So I just wanted to get your input. Like, what do you think about the sneaker culture in Dallas, and what do you think is going on today?
The sneaker culture in Dallas has definitely evolved over the last few years. I see it going more towards other brands, not just so much Yeezys, Jordans. I don't know if it has an effect because a lot of people are moving here from other cities. So you have a lot of different cultures from other cities coming into Dallas, making it sort of like a melting pot. But I'm loving the direction it's going in, definitely.
What influenced your passion and love for sneakers?
Mainly growing up in like the 90s, most of your sneakers were geared towards basketball players. So my love came from just loving basketball. My heroes were NBA players. Knowing that they had the dopest shoes, automatically I gravitated towards liking the sneakers that they had on. So being that I couldn't really afford a lot of shoes growing up, we were kind of poor. As soon as I got out of college and got a job, it was a wrap. It was a wrap.
What would you say is the most underrated kick of all time?
The underrated?
Most underrated pair of sneakers of all time.
Of all time. Woo.
Throw it on you real quick.
Definitely have to be a Reebok brand sneaker. I don't think people give the Shaqnosis, the Reebok Shaqnosis, as much respect as it deserves. I don't think people, when you see Shaq, you don't really think of sneakers, because I mean, he had his own brand and a couple of his shoes were in Payless, but that Reebok Shaqnosis is definitely was a trendsetter back in the 90s. You could tell I'm a little older than I grew up in the 90s, so a lot of my favorite sneakers are from that 90s era, you know what I'm saying?
What are your top 10 kicks in 2019?
Top 10, woo. This was hard. It took me a minute to like really come up with this list, but I think it's a pretty good one for me, you feel me? My number one sneaker, I'm gonna go ahead and get the hype beat stuff out the way, let's be real. The number one sneaker for me was the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a Jordan 1 with probably the hottest rap artist out right now. That sneaker is something I don't have, but it is in my top 10. My number 2 would be the Travis Scott Air Jordan 6, mainly because I love 6s, and again, Travis Scott Air Jordan is kind of self-explanatory. My number 3 is the Sakai Waffle, the original colorway, the blue one. I like the other colorways that came out, but that first blue colorway with like, I think it had yellow and red on it, bruh, fire. Again, another sneaker I do not have. But I will get these sneakers. When I hit the lotto, I'm buying all this shit up. You feel me? Let's see. I'm gonna go off another Jordan 1 that I don't think gets the respect it deserves that came out this year is the Obsidian Jordan 1, like the dark blue North Carolina colorway. I feel like a lot of people aren't giving that sneaker the respect it deserves. Definitely not. Jordan 1, LA to Chicago's. That's one of my top 10 because just the fact that you could just basically turn that sneaker from one shoe to another one, especially with it being the LA colorway and then going to the Chicago 1 colorway, just straight up fire, you feel me? Now I do like a lot of runners. Runners are one of I love runner sneakers. A couple of years ago, runners were straight up, I think, running the game, you feel me? No pun intended. And I feel like New Balance is definitely bringing runners back. So another sneaker that's in my top 10 is the New Balance and Ame 99 V2. Bruh, fire, fire. New Balance, I feel like going into 2020 is gonna take over. It's gonna blow up for real, for real. Another New Balance I have on my list is the New Balance and Bodega No Bad Days 997 VS. I saw that sneaker in person and that is definitely on my gotta get list for 2020. That was one of the most fire sneakers in 2019 if you ask me. Going back, I kind of grew up in the Air Force One era, so I had to go with the Clyde Air Force One that came out about a month ago, the blue one. Just the fact that it had materials underneath that you could get to by like, I guess using a sandpaper remover or something like that. That's just a dope concept. This is a sneaker that didn't release over here in the US, but it released in Europe. And every time I wear this sneaker, I turn heads. Sometimes I go to the mall in this sneaker just to see people look at them. It's the Species Air Max 90. It's like gray, has like scales on it, gives you like a reptilian feel, and this kind of like lime green midsole. So fire. I just think, and I don't even like Air Max 90s. That was the first Air Max 90 I've ever bought, period. And I was like, yo, I think I might get into Air Max 90s because of this shoe. And my last top 10 sneaker of the year is a sneaker I have on right now. Might as well go ahead and pull it off. This sneaker is so fire. This is the Soulland and Nike Blazer, the Friday Blazer. It came out about a month ago, only released in Europe. So you don't really see a lot of people over here in the US with this sneaker. I feel like if this sneaker would have released in the US and it would have got more pub over here, a lot of people would be talking about this shoe. But yeah, I got it, so you know what I'm saying? That is my top 10. That is my top 10 sneakers of 2019. I feel like a lot of sneakers came out this year, so it's really kind of hard to say what is the top 10. Each person is probably gonna have their different top 10, I'm pretty sure of it, but 2019 was definitely a good year for the culture, you feel me?
What's up?
What's up?
How y'all feeling?
Good.
Feeling good. All right, question. How do y'all feel about the sneaker community in Dallas, and how y'all feel about the sneaker community in the whole? Where is it going right now?
I'll take it first. I think Dallas in general lacks cohesiveness. I think that we're doing well as a culture in spite of the brands because we don't get a lot of brand support here. But I think that we've got a lot of tribal feeling kind of going on. You've got people in Fort Worth, you've got people south of Dallas, you've got people in Dallas, north in the suburbs, and we're all operating kind of independently. I think all the pieces are there to have something great here, but it just lacks cohesiveness, and I think that's going to change in 2020. I really do. I think that we're just about there.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. I feel like the scene here in Dallas is evolving and it's growing and it's headed in the positive direction. It's just we haven't, I guess, united as sneakerheads. So you see shoes and people who wear shoes out and about, but it's usually the same people all the time. But I think that's just because we aren't all together, so we don't know each other. Everybody doesn't really roll together yet, but we'll get there and we're growing and the scene is here. It's just slowly taking steps to get to the point where we need to be like in LA or in New York, but it's here.
How do women impact the status of culture here in the kick game, not only in Dallas, but just in general when you think about the sneaker culture?
Women?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I mean, let's be honest, the reason why we all try to dress, look good, and wear sneakers is to get their attention. It ain't for Matt, that's for damn sure. You know what I'm saying? Actually, you know, for us, and we'll get to there eventually, but I love the fact that women are having such a major impact in shoes. Actually, my top 5 has 3 shoes designed by women. And we are very, feminist per se. So we're all about that. So my wife wears shoes, my child wears shoes, his wife wears shoes. I think they play a major role in what we're doing. And I think now that they have the doors have opened for them, I think it's only gonna get better.
Yeah.
All right, just to wrap it up, it's been a good year for sneakers. What are your top 10 kicks of 2019?
I will tell you, that was really hard to figure out between the two of us. But we came up with our list. Matt, you want to go first?
So number 10, Kanye had a pretty bad year, but I think that he's going to finish strong with something that's going to completely save his 2019, which is the Yeezy 700 V3. Hasn't dropped yet. I think it drops the 23rd, but absolute fire. That thing is sick. Best silhouette he's come out with in a long time. Looking forward to that.
For a guy who does not like 700s, I actually have to agree. I actually am looking forward to this one. I have destroyed every single one that he's dropped. I won't buy it. This one has changed my opinion completely. Number 9. You ready for this?
Yeah.
We might catch some slack, but we're gonna go with the Mars Yard overshoe.
Tom Sachs.
Yeah. It's quirky, it's weird, but here's the thing. If you remove the shroud
sheath
that it had, the sheath, thank you. The sheath that it had around it, it's probably a top 5 shoe instantly.
It was fun because it was like an Easter egg shoe. So you've got a shoe, this crazy, this overshoe Mars boot looking thing, and I love that about it. And then you've got this Tom Sachs Mars Yard inside of it. And so I cut the shroud off. It was fun. It was something like kind of a project I did with the sneaker this year. I think you get to kind of be creative with it and do what you want. Leave straps on, leave them off, whatever you want to do. It was just a fun shoe. I loved it. I think it was great.
Yeah.
So number 8, Virgil did some different things this year with his his athletes in progress and like the women's line with the spikes and all that. I didn't like any of those as much, but I got to thinking about it and I realized that on February 7th, I believe, the Off-White Air Max 90 Desert Ore dropped. And for me, that was my favorite, maybe possibly my favorite Virgil shoe ever. So that made our list.
Yeah. That's all I gotta say about that one. It's phenomenal. That shoe's
sick.
fire. It looks good, and I think because he dropped so many shoes and a lot of them are really cool, people tend to forget about the ones that dropped early in the year. But let's not forget the word.
Yeah.
Number 7, the Cafe Du Monde Saucony 5000. All right, that we like collaborations between brands, and we like when brands take it seriously. Sometimes Nike and Adidas take those collaborations very lightly. Saucony does not. They came through. The box was shaped like their actual Bengay mix. Cafe Du Monde, they had the awning cover that matched the inside and the outside of the shoe. They dropped 2 different colorways, but the one that released was, made me hungry. So I mean, it looks like a beignet. So
it's got sprinkled the powdered sugar on top. It's got the mint colored bottom for the awning. It's just fire.
Yeah.
Perfectly done collab. That's how it should be done every time.
You can't leave Saucony out of your top 5.
Yeah. We've got Travis. Couldn't leave Travis off the list, but we didn't do what most people did, I think. I think the Travis Air Force One was so clean. I think the way he did that shoe with the different patterns, like 10 different swatches of fabric or whatever it may be. He did a shout out to Missouri City, Texas on there. It looked like something Travis really took a hand in. Whereas the Jordan, as clean as it may be, I feel like it's safe for everybody. I think the Air Force One was not safe at all. I think that he killed it with that thing, with the shroud over the laces, and he reveals like a plaid. It's fire. Absolutely love that one.
5, right? We're on 5?
Yeah.
Number 5. The shoes this man is wearing right now, a New Balance Concept Extra.
Eastrock. It's cursed backwards.
Yep.
It's got a story behind it. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm a Red Sox fan. I'm a Rangers fan too, but I love the Red Sox. And a lot of people don't know that Babe Ruth was sold by the Yankees to the Red Sox for a sum of money that went to fund a play called No No Nanette. And this is after the play No No Nanette. This is what the playbill looked like. It had the pink and the orange and that different colors. And so it tells the story of the curse, which is Eastrock's curse, reversed the curse. The Red Sox won the World Series in '04 and broke the curse. And this is a kind of a shoe that commemorates that relationship between the Yankees and Red Sox and the greed, I guess you could say, where, they sold the player, the iconic player of all time, to fund a play. And this is a shoe that commemorates it. I think they did an excellent job with it. The special box, it's got the music notes on the inside. It's just, they killed it with this one.
You're up.
I don't even know if you got to say your name.
Aleli May.
Aleli May 6. The Jordan Aleli May 6. It's absolutely, it's, as far as Jordans go, I love earth tone Jordans, and I love these different colors. The popping colors are fun, but I love something you can wear, I guess, more subtle, and I think she absolutely killed it with this. A female designer, I'd love to see her coming out with a shoe that everyone can wear. I loved it.
Yeah, I love seeing that she actually took a men's shoe, added a feminine touch to it, but it didn't go overboard. It wasn't some bright pink or some excessive thing that you would assume with excessive femininity, and actually made it enticing for me. And it's a shoe that I chased down, and I didn't get it for retail, and when I got it, I didn't take it off for a while.
Yep.
All right, number 3. Was that 3?
That was
okay, we're going on to 3. We're bringing in our second New Balance, the 997S Bodega No Days Off. That shoe is so clean, fire. The subtleties of that shoe, actually the 2 colorways are actually really nice. I picked the No Days Off because the colors were subtle. It's more true to the New Balance colorways that I know, which aren't these crazy tones that you would find on the next one that Matt actually prefers. But the shoe itself, the purples, the grays, the cut on the shoe is very different from what I consider your standard New Balance. And it screams, kind of how we feel about sneakers. There's no days off. You rock kicks. You have to push this culture. You have to push what we have, in order to make it grow. And that's what they did over there at Bodega, and the shoe came on fire.
Yeah, I see. We're a duo, so we disagreed on this. I prefer No Bad Days because it goes with absolutely everything. I wear that shoe I wear it 3 or 4 times a week. That's how much I love it. I think they killed it with that design. New Balance had a really strong year under the radar. Really strong year.
Yeah.
Number 2, which I think is probably close to the top of most people's list, the Sakai Waffle. Sakai Waffle. Probably have a different opinion on colorway, but for me it was the gray and white. I think that gray and white is absolutely fire. It goes with everything. Anything you can think to wear, he's got it on right now. The silhouette, it's iconic looking. It's a simple shoe, but the subtle changes with the double tongue, the double laces, the double swoosh, you've got the double sole, everything about it. It's fun, it's quirky, it's fashionable. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great shoe, and a lot of people probably pick this shoe to be number 1. My problem with it is that which one? They released 5 different colorways, and that's a problem for me. You can't have shoe of the year when there's 5 of them, because there are other shoes that this shoe won't beat. or the Barney colorway won't beat a certain one. And that one leads us to our number 1, which is the Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapor Max. And that shoe was a tough decision because of this shoe. And the reason why we chose it's because the shoe itself, there's only one. And there were bold takes on it. The designer had 2 different colorways. It looked like they actually took time and really took some risks with the different color tones and the Play-Doh looking swoosh on the inside.
The pipe cleaner thing, yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's a female designer who went out of her way to put some thought into a sneaker that actually looks phenomenal on men and women. So
props to the ladies this year. They killed
back.
it. Straight killed it.
That's 3 in our top 5.
Yeah.
Stand up.
What's
How are you,
good?
bro?
Blessed, man. Blessed. Glad to be here.
All right. So, how do you feel about the sneaker community as a whole, and how do you feel about the sneaker community in Dallas? Like, where do you think it's going right now?
I think it's dope. I mean, we've been here. I mean, if you look at the history of the sneaker community in DFW, I mean, there's been popular groups that I think personally, such as the HSK crew, the Heat Seekers crew. Shout out to those boys, man. They got heat. All of them are different in what they do. We got a lot of stuff out here. I think it's time now that brands start recognizing us. And like we have a lot of good sneaker YouTubers that are doing their thing. We got people in the sports media field that are talking sneakers, and I think it's gonna be a dope thing, man, for the future for the DFW.
What are your top 10 kicks of 2019?
All right, man, so like mine is more of a history thing. So like I know a lot of shoes that are hype, but I'm gonna start off with number 10. It's a simple shoe, the G-Dragon Air Force One. Very simple. I know the jokes go about having a black Air Force One, but you gotta have this shoe, man. Like, you gotta have this shoe, man. So that's definitely my number 10. Got lucky on those. So number 9 for me is gonna be the Travis Scott 6. I know a lot of people have it higher on their list, but for me, I consider it like, if it wasn't Travis Scott's shoe, would it be as popular? But I love olive, I love the colors. So like, olive now on shoes looks really good. People wearing olive now, so gotta go with that. Number 8, I'm gonna go with the New Balance 997, No Days Off, the bodega shoe. I'm a big collab guy. I love New Balance when they do collabs. Like one of my favorites is a past shoe, the Verner's Club Soda that they did. It was a green shoe, kind of like the Oakland Athletics colorway, and I just like when they do collabs. I think that's dope what they do. They go for stores, they go for hidden themes, so definitely dope for me. Number 7, man, this hits kind of home for me. Y'all, we know about the Fearless One Pack, but the mid, the Blue to Gray. Obviously, being a DFW guy, we know about Blue to Gray. You know, his family, the Blue family, shout out to them. Dope shoe. I think everybody in the DFW needs to have that shoe and support that shoe. We know, I could talk all day about what's on the shoe, as far as like, colors and materials, but that's a dope shoe to me. All right, number 6, this is more of a history shoe. I'm not gonna say this particular model because it's been several different models, but the Jordan 11, the Red 11. I mean, let's talk about history here. If you're a basketball fan, Jordan comes out of retirement. Obviously, he was wearing the 10, but then he went to 11. That was a 72 and 10 team. We know the history behind the Red 11, man. Like, come on, y'all. And you gotta have at least one of the variations of that shoe in your collection. So I got the Jordan 11 at number 6. Number 5, I'm gonna stick with Jordan brand. I'm gonna go with the LA to Chicago, the SB, man. Like, for me personally, being a guy that covers sports, like my first experience of really liking basketball was that '91 finals, the LA versus Bulls finals, and it's a dope shoe. I mean, there's another colorway that's out obviously of that shoe, but you gotta have that shoe in your collection too, man. Resellers gotta help me out on that one too. I need another pair. All right, number 4, I'm gonna go with the Cactus Plant Flea Market. I think that's a dope shoe, even though I have really wide feet. Yeah, man, there's so many guys I've seen that shoe. You can rock that shoe with anything. You can have the craziest fit on. I've seen a guy in a Dickie jumpsuit with the shoe on. It would look crazy. It was just a dope shoe for me. So I gotta have that shoe on my list. Number 3, the Chicago Waffle, of course. Once again, having wide feet, it's kind of tough for me to wear that shoe. So I had to go a size up, but dope shoe, very simple, has history behind it. I think that we all need to look at the history of that shoe, and yeah, gotta have that in your collection. Number 2, obviously the Travis Scott 1. The high. I like the fact, once again, I'm a big collab guy. Guys get an opportunity to have their own shoe or just variations of the shoe. I love the shoe. Obviously, I didn't get a chance to get the shoe, so if anybody want to help me out. But love the shoe, man. Like, once again, Jordan 1 of the dopest shoes that you can have in your collection. And number 1, I know it's simple for a lot of people, and they're like, why would you put it number 1? But the history. I'm gonna go with the Jordan 4, the Bread 4. If you think about sneaker history, everybody knows the story about the Jordan 2 and how Jordan didn't like the number 2. And he was gonna leave to go to Adidas because of that. Without the 3 and the 4, we may not be sitting in this room right now. We all be wearing Adidas, probably. So the Jordan 4, man, the Bread 4 is just a dope shoe, man. I don't care what year, what they do to it. You got a Jumpman on the back, you got a Nike on the back. It's a shoe that you gotta have in your collection. I mean, the dunk contest, the history, the gold chains, you go for it, man. So yeah, that's my top 10.
Ryan,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm great.
All right, so let's get right into it. How do you feel about the sneaker community and where is it going right now?
I think especially here locally, it's evolving. So, a few years ago, you would see mainly Jordans and Yeezys for the most part as you're walking around, but I think it's becoming more sophisticated and more diverse, which is great. So starting to see different brands, shoes that are maybe not the most hype shoes, but have some history to them. So I think it's a maturing community here.
Last but not least, what are your top 10 kicks in 2019?
All right, so my list will probably not be like everyone else's. Starting off number 10, Todd Snyder, New Balance 990 V3. So one of the best New Balance silhouettes to me, the V3. And then, we all know the classic gray, but in his case, he put some brown hues on it, added some leather to it, looks really sharp. Easy shoe to throw on. Number 9, the New Balance 801, what they call bring back, which is like the Nike term for retro. New Balance calls it bring back. That was a classic 90s trail shoe. And it was really nice to see New Balance starting to bring back some of the catalog where the shoes are just too old now to be able to wear the ones that I used to have. Number 8, the Tom Sachs Mars Yard overshoe. Pretty crazy shoe, not the easiest to wear, but I love how he keeps pushing the limits in terms of design. And I like quirky design, so I went with that one at 8. Number 7, definitely haven't heard this on anybody's list, but it's the Red Wings times New Balance 997. What I like is they took specific design elements and quality from Red Wing boots and put it into a New Balance shoe, which is obviously known for quality, but added some just the next level of premium to that. I'm a big fan of that. Number 6, the Jound Reebok Club C. So it's a really simple shoe, but everything Jound does, it's really more about precision and execution. I just think, if you're wearing a more complex outfit and you need just a simple shoe to kind of tone it down so you're not head to toe crazy, it's a perfect shoe for that. So number 5, the Aimé Leon Dore 997. So really love how they kind of shifted from the traditional gray to more of a cream, added some pops of color to that. Easy to wear shoe, and I really like the cream laces and little subtle touches there. Number 4, you may be seeing a trend. Concepts New Balance, the S-Ruck. So in particular, Dion at Concepts always hits the right color hues and really premium quality. On this one in particular, I think that the combination of kind of pink and purple hues on that shoe are just fantastic. It's the antithesis of the Jound shoe, where this one pops. You just gotta wear basic stuff and that shoe stands out. Number 3, we got an ASICS, so Angelo's shoe at Awake with the Kayano 360. The midsole, like that milky midsole, is so good, and I really like the green and silver combination on the upper, just a really nice looking shoe, and one of the rare times where they do kind of a combination, midsole upper swap that looks really nice as a hybrid. Number 2, the Aimé Leon Dore 990 V2. I think just the simplification of that, but taking the gray and adding a few colors to it, the yellow laces pop great. Teddy really killed that shoe. And then finally, my lone Nike on the list, the green Sacai LD Waffle. So I really like how the doubling up on everything at first. I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna like it, but as I started to wear it, actually is one of those that catches your eye, but it's not too out there. And I found it's pretty easy to wear with a lot of different looks. There's my list.
What up? What up?
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Can't complain.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
How do you feel about the sneaker community as a whole, and how do you feel about it in Dallas? Like, where's it going right now?
The sneaker community as a whole. I guess you could consider me an OG, so I've never had this much trouble copping sneakers ever. You know what I mean? So, I'm kind of from the days of, not having so much trouble to be able to get a dope sneaker. So, I guess I don't really like that element of it, but you know, where things are going, the collabs, everything that's happening in sneaker culture, I'm really a fan of. The sneaker culture in Dallas, I mean, I also think it's good because you have places like Center, where we are now, you know, who I've seen from the beginning go from a very small room to all the things you see now, and also to another location. So it's really dope, you know, how it's grown over the years. I've been living here since 2005, so it's really grown a lot, and I'm a big fan, definitely.
Top 10 kicks of 2019.
What the pressure, man? How we gonna narrow it to 10 kicks, man? Hey, it is what it is. All right, so number 10, and you know, I'm sort of all over the place with my list because you know, it's just a personal thing. I don't really do too much of the hype beast stuff, but the Stranger Things Tailwind, the number 10, just a sleek classic shoe. You can't ever go wrong with a runner. You know, I'm a fan of the Kelly Green, so you know, it's one of my shoes that I keep in a rotation for sure, just to run around in. Number 9, the Travis Scott Jordan 1. I mean, it's just a dope all-around kick. The colorway is dope. The reverse swoosh, I was really a fan of that. So, you know, the wax strings and all of that. So I really like that in that shoe. Number 8, the Blue the Great Mid. I mean, I've been knowing Blue since I've moved here, and to see what he was doing back then and what he's doing now, I mean, I had to add it to the top 10 list, no question about that. Number 7, the Sacai, the OG colorway, the green, black, and orange. I loved it. You know, it's just a dope shoe. The double sole, it just had a unique look, and it's a very comfortable shoe for sure. Number 6, the Off-White Dunk. I haven't heard anybody say that. I mean, how can you go wrong with the Off-White Dunk? I mean, the Dunk itself is just a classic shoe. So to get the whole cosign from Virgil and, you know, come with the dope ill strings going all over the shoe, I think that's really dope. Number 5, the Clot Air Force 1. Just uniqueness in every sense of the word. The fact that you can pull off the upper, you got a dope layer under the shoe. Can't go wrong with that ever. Number 4, ironically, the Bread 4. I mean, just a classic shoe. You can't ever go wrong with that. You know, it's just a Jordan brand shoe. The Nike Air on the back made it really dope. Okay, so the number 3, the Amy Leon Dore 997, pardon me, New Balance. Just a dope all-around shoe. I wasn't lucky to get the shoe, but it was still a dope shoe of 2019. Number 2, a lot of people debated me on this between this and the Sacai, but the Undercover Daybreak, the blue, black, and white one. I mean, craftsmanship, quality, you can't beat it. And number 1, the Travis Scott 6. I love the 6, I'm a 6 guy, you know, OG, Jordan. So any colorway, I have so many different colorways of the 6. It's one of my favorite shoes, so that's it. Top 10.
What up, man? This is dope. Man, I feel good. How about you, bro?
Good, man. Can't complain. So, how do you feel about the sneaker community as a whole, and where is it going right now?
I think it's dope, man. I think Dallas is a very welcoming place. Very slept on sneaker market. I think there's a lot of purists out here, but a lot of, you know, very stylish people who kind of have their own flavor that, you know, kind of go back to some of those classic models, whether it be a Cortez or, you know, whether it be a pair of Jordan 1s. I think that the variety kind of reflects the overall, you know, landscape of the type of people who are living here. So I would definitely say that. Where is it going? I think that Dallas is a hotbed for footwear and apparel. I think a lot of brands, they're noticing that Dallas has a lot of dispensable income. A lot of people work. People here work hard, but people, you know, play hard as well. So I think Dallas is a very underrated place for footwear. But if you're from here, then you know people have been doing it for, you know, a long time.
What are your top 10 kicks of 2019?
All right, so I've got 11 with the tie at number 10. So my two for number 10 is the J. Crew New Balance 997. Rattlesnake, tied with the Fear of God Skate Mid. I think both of those shoes were definitely very slept on, especially the J. Crew. I think people just kind of take J. Crew for granted because they kind of just keep the same consistency with just, you know, very classic silhouettes, but just with a little bit of flair to it. The Rattlesnake was really dope. I think if somebody like, you know, Ame or Ronnie Feig or somebody was attached to it, I think that it would be going for, you know, 300, 400, 500 bucks, you know what I mean? But that's just the type of landscape that we're in, you know. Things have to be kind of attached to some of the coolest people nowadays. The Fear of God Skate Mid, I think that was a really dope sneaker just because it paid homage to the Adidas Yeezy 750 that he helped Kanye design. I think a lot of people kind of just overlook what Jerry Lorenzo's impact is on sneaker culture. So I definitely wanted to add that in. My number 9 is the Pata Jordan 7. I think the brown one is kind of like a flip of the Bordeaux. I think that was a really dope story that they told with that shoe. My number 8 was the Off-White Michigan Dunk. The other colorways, those were dope. The UNLV was dope, but I think the Michigan one, as far as with Michigan bringing back Juwan Howard, right now I think that it's a really dope story to tell with the Fab Five and all of that stuff. Number 7 is the Lance Mountain Jordan Low, Jordan 1 Low. Lance Mountain does a really good job of storytelling, but also of making creative shoes that like people can actually have fun with, take home and experience while they skate or while they wear them, you know, casually. I think that that's a really dope shoe that, you know, just the everyday person can either rock, or for the creative, they can kind of customize it. My number 6 is the Slam Jam Blazer, the class of 1977. I think that they did a really dope concept shoe, flipping the Nike check upside down on the Blazer, similar to how Travis Scott did. Number 5 is the yellow Sakai Waffle. That one holds near and dear to me. I had an interview with Dallas or with D-Mag, and my man Tariq, he allowed me to use that shoe. So that one was a really impactful shoe. Number 4, I'm gonna go with the Travis Scott Retro 6. Number 3, I'm gonna go with the Virgil Abloh LV Trainer Low. I think that is a super crazy shoe. The quality is just insane. Number 2, I'm gonna go with the Jordan 4. Number 1 shoe might be a shocker, but I'm gonna go Blue to Great. I think for Dallas in general, me personally, I think that it was dope seeing how many people just came out and drove to support Blue to Great and what he did with that sneaker. I wish Nike would have, or Jordan would have did something out here, but I think the culture here said we're gonna do it our own self, celebrate him, celebrate the city. A lot of people, you know, wear the shoe, which I think is dope because it's not a lot of people just, you know, just sitting on the shoe with it dead stock. People are actually wearing it and experience it, seeing Blue, you know, do his thing on the boxes, on the side of the sneakers. I think that that's really inspiring for the kids. So, yeah, I would say he's got the shoe of the year. So.
Ashley and Ashley.
Yes, sir.
How are y'all doing?
Good, how are you?
Blessed and highly favored. How are you today?
Let's get right into it. What are y'all top 10 kicks of 2019?
Ashley, go ahead.
I really struggle with this. Let me just say it's in no particular order except for number 1. Is that fair?
Fair enough.
Okay, I think that's fair. So I'll start with my number 10, I guess you can say. I love Pyre Moss and Curbito, what he's doing with his movement right now. So I'll say the Mobius Experiment, number 3. I really love the black and white joints. I had to settle for the blush. I won't say settle, but settle.
My number 10, it's gonna be a little weird, but it's that Mars Yard infant shoe. I had a baby boy this year, so I'm super excited to get him all the sneakers that I can't get, but we'll see if that happens in 2020 for myself.
I guess number 9 for me would be the Sakai Waffle. I guess we're gonna stick with the theme of pink. I wanted the pink ones. Still don't have them, so if anybody has any plugs and know anything, you know, hit your girl up.
My number 9 is TBD on whether or not my size is actually available, but it definitely made my top 10. It's the Blue the Great Mid. Again, I know a lot of people have called that out, but it's great to see his personality in that shoe. You look at that shoe, you see Brian.
So we're on number 8. I have to say the Off-White Dunk. I know a lot of people wanted the Michigan, but I wanted the white and green. And I'm not really a big fan of Off-White. I don't have anything currently, but I respect Virgil other than his streetwear comment. Kind of feel a type of way about that. I don't think streetwear is gonna die. So yeah, I think that's my number 8.
I'll switch mine up. Actually, my number 8 is gonna be my waffle racer that I have on today. Something about just mixing that trail element with a just general runner and the craziness with the colors. It's subtle, yet it pops.
Number 7 is gonna have to be the Travis Scott 6. Still don't have that. She has it.
I do. My number 7 is probably the Travis Scott 1. Coming from a military background, I really vibe with the browns and the greens that we saw in the 6s, but something about that 1, it's very clean, and I can't wait to unds mine.
Number 6, I'm gonna have to say the Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapor Maxes. I'm not a big fan of the Vapor Max. Never really have been. I worked at Finish Line for 6 years, and I don't really feel like they're comfortable. I got to slap my feet into some, and I changed my mind very quickly. So I don't know what they did with this new style. I also like the materials that they utilized. Real out of the box, so I have to say that's my number 6.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the satin toe or satin black toe. Again, that slight change for an already iconic shoe is just something that you can take it to another level with your outfit, with anything you want to do. You can make it really casual, or you can make that shoe pop.
And that's my number 5 for the exact reason. Sometimes I'm a boy, sometimes I'm a girl. You just never know what you're gonna get. So that's my number 5.
All right, Fear of God 1 oatmeal. So very few of those actually came out in my size, but again, military aspect, I love the boot, and it's a neutral color that really goes with anything.
4, I'd have to say the Air Max 2 Light. I wasn't a big fan when it first dropped. I think I was talking a lot of trash in group chat, which is usual for me. I usually have to come around to something, but I think, you know, for me, it was the fact that it wasn't a particular colorway, you know, and then you put it on, it's comfortable, and you can throw it on with anything. So that's definitely my number 4.
My number 4, No Bad Days, New Balance. Again, it's just a very, very well-designed shoe. I think, again, you can throw that on with just about anything and be comfortable.
Number 3 for me is gonna be Bread Force. Anything with bread in it, I'm probably gonna want it or need it. So I'm not a big fan of the Force. They're not super comfortable on the feet, but I had to get it.
My number 3 is a little different. It's the Air Max Susan. So I actually collect pretty much all of the Leica Nike collaborations, in addition to a lot of the other things that were released for those movies. So I was really excited for that movie. Yes, I'm a big kid, but something about the waffle print on that shoe. It's an Air Max 1, it's really clean, I love it.
My number 2 is what I have on my feet right now, the Allen Iverson Question Mids. If you know anything about me, I hooped all of my life. Currently while my kneecap is dislocated and I'm in a brace right now. So being a point guard myself, you gotta respect him, you know? What's practice? And that colorway was just, I don't know, I had to have it. I don't have anything with red and blue. And when it dropped, I had to get my hands on it. So shout out to Marte, I appreciate you.
I'm gonna actually do my number 2 and number 1. Both of these shoes are actually really important to me because they were wedding gifts. I got married this year, so I got—
Congratulations.
Thank you. I got to pick, you know, what I really wanted to get, and I picked these 2 sneakers. So number 2 is the Green Gusto Sakai Waffle. I love that shoe. Pretty much anything with green and gold gives me Jamaican vibes. I'm all over it. And then number 1 is the Cactus Plain Flea Market Vapor Max. Something about that shoe is just really playful. It takes me back to when I was a kid drawing out all these shoes that I wanted to design. And I thought it was really cool.
And then I guess that brings me to my number 1. So it's gonna have to be the LA to Chicago Jordan 1. Anybody that knows anything about me knows I'm a huge Lakers fan. So Will Chamberlain, of course, Kobe Bryant, you gotta name some of the greats. And then a dream of mine was always to live in Chicago. So like, I don't know why, but I was always infatuated. Love Jones is one of my favorite movies. It's shot in Chicago. I lived in Chicago for 2 years. I got blessed with the opportunity with my career. And it's one of the most best times of my life, I guess you could say. It was a humbling experience and it taught me a lot. And it grew me up as a woman. So 2 dynasties collide. And this is my number 1 sneaker of 2019.
How y'all doing?
Good. Wonderful.
Good. We'll go down the list. Starting with J Clip. What is your number 1 sneaker of the year?
My number 1 sneaker of the year, the Travis Scott 6. Like I said on the interview, I'm a 6 guy. I mean, I have so many different colorways of the Jordan 6, man, it doesn't even make sense. So that's my go-to, the olive green, the whole distressed look on the tongue. Can't lose, bro.
Carlos, what about you? What's your number 1 sneaker of the year?
As me and you talked a couple of times already, you know, I'm a New Balance guy. So I had to say the New Balance 997, the Bodega, No Bad Days, the color scheme, the extra laces, the inside sole, everything is just impeccable to me, man. It's untouchable. What they did, the good job they did with that. So that's got to be my favorite.
What you got going? Sneaker of the year.
Number 1 shoe to me was the Sakai Waffle. No particular color, but just all of them. I'm definitely biased with Nike head. I also like my retro, so for them to take a retro like the Waffle and to kind of modernize it with the way they did it. The shoe itself looks like a piece of art, man. And so when I was seeing the first drops of them, I was a little worried that they wouldn't be as functional. But when I got them in hand and actually got them on feet, they were even better than I imagined. So just the pure art of the shoe, and for them to be able to pull it off and kill all 5 colors was pretty cool to me.
Hottest sneaker to me, hottest, is any collab from Virgil that he did over this year. Any low top, high top, it fits. It just fits. He changed the game with the green on greens from the purples on purples and reds on reds. It just did it for me. He's a part of our culture and he changed the game. So simple.
Sneaker of the year.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I mean, the Jordan 4. The Brand 4, because I mean, right now, if you look at history, we're talking about 1989, we're in 2019, 30 years of history. I think without the Jordan 4, or maybe the Jordan 3, you can argue it, we all wouldn't be sitting here right now talking about sneakers. And I mean, we all branch out from Adidas, you know, New Balance, different things, but without Jordan brand itself, or just Nike in general, what would we be at? So, I mean, from the dunk contest, from everything, the gold chains, Jordan 4 is always going to be a part of history. It's sneakers, it'll never die off, it's not a phase. It's going to come back in different variations. So, Jordan 4 for me, man.
What's up, man? So I'm going to go a little bit more of a general release, and that will be the Nike React Presto. And that's just because, you know, Nike, you know, obviously they're killing it with innovation, and that's no different with the classic silhouette of the Presto, with them incorporating their React cushioning on it. You know, definitely a popular technology in shoes, you know, which, you know, focuses on comfort. You're starting to see that React cushioning substituted and incorporated into a lot of classic silhouettes. So in terms of just innovation and how that's been infused with classic silhouettes and things like that, definitely just emphasizes how, you know, this makes a big deal with how that impacts the culture, and then how that it's easily a top, you know, shoe, whether it's the feature and all that good stuff. So Nike React Presto, no particular color, just the style.
I'm gonna go with the Travis Scott Jordan 1. Man, I like the color. the extra shoelaces that they came with.
Got him.
And also it was so hard to get these, man. It was like so damn hard. And I mean, I choose this one for my top sneaker of the year.
Sneaker of the year to me definitely has to be the Melody Asani ones for multiple reasons. It was designed by a woman. The accessory that she added to the silhouette, which is my favorite silhouette of the Jordan brand. The details, the colors, just what it stood for really meant a lot to me. So I'm very thankful I got to get a pair, and she killed it for sure.
Well, my number one sneaker this year for sure would be the Nike Sakai. Like, he kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, that shoe is for sure a work of art. Like, I love the pine green colorway, and the fact that I got them gifted to me like made them 10 times better.
That's it. Lucky you.
Man, I ain't much. They got extra
Right.
bad.
Hey. Not even retail, gifted.
Yeah, $0.
Look.
So, this is going to be like a random, question overall. I just want to give like the women some what is it with y'all like for the sneaker community? How's it going? How do you feel it's going? What direction is it going in? And how's the sneaker community like going in Dallas?
I'm not too sure about Dallas, but as a whole, I feel like I'm glad that they're starting to realize that women wear sneakers finally. Like, I don't know what took so long, but we're out here, shout out to Sneaker Summit. We try to bring a community together for like the female sneakerheads because we're out here.
Definitely. I mean, everything she said is true. I can agree. For sure. I'm new to Dallas. I think we're both new to Dallas this year. So we definitely be working to bring more women's sneaker expression to the city from what we do in Houston with Sneaker Summit. It's a huge platform. It's brought a lot of women together. So we love to see that shift happen here because it's been a big year for us as far as just Texas and women in sneakers being more included and things like that. We definitely need to work on the size runs on some of the shoes as far as like the blues. We wanted those. We like the colors, but I'm sure over the years as this year went, we'll see more progress and see more sneakers in the hands of women.
Yo, man, congratulations.
Thank you.
You made this shit happen.
Yes, sir.
I just want to tap in with you and kind of see what kind of created the vision, what inspired you to come up with this idea, and then what made you want to further execute on the idea.
So pretty much, man, I was looking at other different media as far as like Complex Sneakers and COSIGNKicks, and everybody's giving their 2019 sneaker of the year. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I wanted to do something different from the norm. So I also wanted to show Dallas sneaker culture since it is on the rise.
Right.
So I thought about this while I was on vacation randomly. And I was like, what can I do differently?
Absolutely.
And this is what came about. And I was like, how about I just get all of the real sneaker community on their camera talking about the sneaker culture, talking about their top 10 kicks of sneakers of 2019. Sure. And that's how it came about.
Man, this is dope. Bugs trying to take me out. The fact that, you hit up so many different people and I was able to come out here today.
Right.
I know you asked the question to everybody else, but what's your top 10 sneakers of 2019? Man, as we recap and come near 2020, what's your top 10 looking like?
10, man, in no particular order, man, but I will go ahead and say definitely the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1.
Okay.
Also the ALD New Balance.
Just make sure, give me the number one. Give me number one.
Number one, Travis Scott.
Okay, cool.
Then, of course, number two, I got to go with the homie.
Hey.
Blue. Blue is I've been seen him work since back in the day.
For sure.
Known him for a while. So to see him actually have a, let me go ahead and take it off right quick. To see him actually have a sneaker that's this dope, bro, and his colors and his artistic ways inside of a sneaker, I think it's dope. So that's definitely like my number 2 on the on my list of this year though. But yeah, this year was a good year. So for sure.
Definitely, man.
Yeah.
So moving beyond to 2019, what are you expecting to be the top sneaker of the year? What's out there on the market that everybody's looking forward to for the new year?
For the new year, man, recently what just released was that Off-White Dunk. I feel like that one, it released around a good time. A lot of people's gunning for it. I perhaps don't have it yet, but you know what I'm saying, I'm still going for it as of now. But I think the Off-White Dunk, Virgil has always pushed limits in the sneaker community. He's always made sneakers in a different way. And I think that Off-White Dunk is a very classic silhouette. Came out, 1985. The way he actually has the ropes going through the center, I think it's a very unique sneaker. And then every sneaker that I like is very unique. And I like colorful sneakers as well. So definitely the Off-White Dunk is the sneaker of the year that closed out the year for sure.
And last question.
Yeah.
For those who are looking to get into the sneaker world and dive in and actually become and be a part of the community that you also will represent, what will be a good starter kick, a good starter shoe to really start off your collection?
A good starter shoe, you can't go wrong with a pair of Jordan 1s.
Okay.
I feel like Jordan 1s is that one shoe that goes with everything. You can dress it up, you can wear a suit, and you can have a pair of Jordan 1s on. The Breads, by the way, those are like my top.
Okay.
Jordan 1. That shoe can come out. They can wrestle that shoe many times. I'm gonna buy it every single time. But you can't go wrong with a pair of Jordan 1s.
Absolutely.
Those are like the top shoes to start. If you want to start sneaker collecting, Air Force 1s, of course, classic, and then Air Jordan 1s off top for sure.
And where can people find you at on social media?
You can find me at Rico Suave. It's RIQO SUAVE 88. Rico Suave, and then also follow COSIGNKicks. COSIGNKicks at COSIGN. So.
Absolutely. This is the 2019 recap with my homeboy Tariq.
Yes, sir.
Hey, you did a damn thing today.
Yes, sir.
Once again, my name is Wash with COSIGN Mag, Washington Entertainment Studios. The homie Matthew J. Freeman, you can find him on IG. This is the 2019 recap. 2020 is going to be a big year.
Big
Let's
year.
get it.
Yes, sir.